This week's scenario is Outlast from the 2016 Steamroller packet. This scenario does not come with the Killbox Artifice effect and consists of two 12-inch zones, which can be controlled for 1 CP or dominated for 2 CPs. Victory conditions consist of 5 control points or caster assassination.
Pokey here, and I decided to go with Lord Assassin Morghoul for this final pre-errata battle report for Skorne. Kind of figured I'd give it the old tier list he had a try, and so that's why I chose most of what I chose.
Hello, this is Lich W, and this week I am trying out the new Cryx theme list, the Ghost Fleet, filled with Deneghra, known as Denny 1, Nightmare, a bunch of models you've probably never seen on the table before. Got Revenant Cannon Crew, Revenant Crew, and just to top it off, I even found myself a Wraith Engine. Deployment of the Cryx army, I start with the Wraith Engine because I don't know where it should go. I know it's got corporal, and that's about it. I figure I can go ahead and put him near the middle because my opponent basically only has one magical attack. So if anyone takes out the Wraith Engine, it's going to be his Warlock. Since I have 2 circular zones, I pretty much decide ahead of time that I'm going to put a Revenant crew, a Cannon crew in each zone, and really going to test out the limits of the recursion for the theme list. I get an extra guy back each turn, so I get up to 4 guys. And then plus, with Rengrave, I have the ability to also increase it. So let's see how this theme list works.
Alright, for my deployment, I figured that much infantry on his side of the table, I might as well go ahead and put most of my shooting in the middle. I put my caster, Morghoul 2, behind the house, hoping I could use the house to help screen him a little bit. And then the rest of the battle group kind of filled out around that. I knew I was going to have to keep the Gladiator safe because he was my only access to Pathfinder and Rush. Alright, advanced deploy. Seeing as how a vast majority of all my infantry except for the beast handlers advanced deploy, I went ahead and decided to put 1 unit on one side and 1 unit on the other side of all of his infantry. Each unit is somewhat accompanied by a Taskmaster. The Master Tormentor. Mostly because, well, of his veteran leadership. So let's see how it goes.
Cryx turn 1. Go ahead and do power up for all my jacks. And I immediately start to unpack my army, as I was mentioning earlier. I was going to try and put a Revenant crew and a Cannon crew into each zone and try and keep up, or use the regrowth factor to keep up with my losses. Also determined that if I put a Pistol Wraith on each side, that way I have at least 1 incorporeal model, and I don't attack with them unless I need to, I'll be able to stop my opponent from scoring from either zone since he's only got 1 model with attacks. So I already unpacked my right side at this point. Now I'm unpacking my left. I'm noticing that the rather small command of the Revenant crew is kind of still forcing me to clump them all together, which does cause some concern because I know that the Cannoneers, they have 4-inch blast templates, and he's going to be able to take out a lot with them, especially since the Pirates are defense not so great.
Alright, turn 1. First things first, I gotta remember to do my apparition moves. I know back in Mark II, I always forgot about his apparition move and the ability that he gave the rest of them. So I'm trying to make sure I remember to do all my apparition moves. So everybody advances up. And oh my goodness, there is a lot of infantry over there. I know some have shooting, some don't, some have assault. Not 100% sure. I just want to make sure that I stayed outside of their threat range for ranged attacks, because none of them had the ability to ignore stealth. So I was hoping I could finagle a way to get the the initial alpha strike off. Downside is he has those silly arc nodes, which Deneghra is going to probably have a field day with taking out my infantry. And another thing, he has incorporeal models, meaning that the only thing that can hurt him are other things that can do magic or magical weapons. And with this list, my only option for that is my caster. So that means Morghoul's going to have to do a lot of work this game. And, well, everybody's going to do a lot of work because that's a lot of infantry on the Cryx side, on Iron Lich's side. So I try to take a pot shot at the arc node. It drifts off. I advance up Morghoul. He puts up rush on both the Gladiator, the Sentry, and the Cannoneer. Cannoneer advances forward with the extra 2 inches. Puts up his Animus of Far Strike. And then lobbed a shot, hoping to scatter off into those guys. Now we're just double checking on the actual angle that it's supposed to go to. And I only get one guy. One guy. All that work for one guy. So now the Sentry goes, and he ends up running. I want him up the field as much as possible, behind the obstructions so nothing can really get to him, hopefully next turn. And then the Brute activates, advances, and puts up Safeguard to prevent knockdown so he can do his business of shield guarding. And then the Bloodrunners move up and help condition to remove extra fury off the table.
Cryx turn 2. So, first of all, I'm happy. I remember to grow back the one Revenant guy that died. So, bonus points for me. Then I go ahead and decide I ultimately want to allocate 2 more to Defiler because I'm going to have him run up, spray, see what he can take care of from that Bloodrunner unit in the blue zone. So I immediately get to work. I move him just so he can see enough of the guys and spray his templates from around the corner while still getting cover from absolutely nothing because Bloodrunners have melee attacks only. It's a habit, one that pays off sometimes. So after we determine the number of targets that fall in a template, which was 3, go ahead and boost a hit on all of them. Basically, if I hit them, I kill them. So I missed one guy and killed 2 from 2 of the regular guys. I missed the solo. Since I don't really use the Defiler, that had me excited. Now I go immediately into the cannon. I know Bloodrunner's got stealth, so at this point I'm just deviating to see, trying to get a good deviation, catch someone. Well, I got a deviation that's typical of me, and it deviates back onto the Defiler that I just ran up there. Well, moved up there. Luckily I didn't do any damage. So I'll run with Pistol Wraith. At this point, I'm thinking I'm just going to flood the blue zone with incorporeal models. But first, we get both my Pistol Wraiths up there, tone the zone. So I have my opponent on lockdown from a scenario standpoint. He's got to bring out Morghoul if he wants to get rid of those Pistol Wraiths. And then I just flood the blue zone with the Ghost Raiders. I brought a min unit, but I have 4 extra guys on the side, waiting for those 4 remaining Bloodrunners to become their brothers in arms. I figure I'm just going to try and maximize the incorporeal aspect here. Then once Deneghra goes, I successfully put Crippling Grasp on the Bloodrunners. And just because I think it's a great idea, I move my Wraith Engine to the middle of the board. No way my opponent's going to move his Warlock to take out that Wraith Engine. And then I begin moving up my Revenant crew. Hindsight, I think being a little too conservative, because after 2 turns, they're barely to the zone. So I think if I would do it again, I'd probably run them further, get up there. But I was too afraid of the Bloodrunners for some reason, even though they're not living models, or the Revenants aren't living models. So I try it again on the red zone. I move up the cannon crew, try and hope for a lucky AoE or a lucky deviation, and I fell. Didn't kill anything, so I just go ahead and move up the Revenant crew. Making sure I keep everyone in command range. And then I move up Rengrave. Gotta protect Rengrave. And I move back my Deathripper.
Turn 2. And I now have a battle engine in my face. That looks like he's getting ready to start collecting souls off of my guys. Those poor unfortunate souls, right? Those poor unfortunate Bloodrunners right there have crippling grasp on them. So they're not going to do a whole bunch of anything. Except for do a bunch of shuffling. So, yeah. Plus I got a bunch of incorporeal in front of them. So what are they going to do? So right now I'm measuring out to see trying to see if I could do something about that battle engine. Unfortunately, my only hope for that battle engine is my caster. But putting my caster that far forward also means that, you know, his entire army is going to be right there chomping at the bit for me. So this turn is going to be a little interesting. With the battle engine being ghostly or incorporeal, the Cannoneer takes a shot at he took a shot at somebody, but not exactly sure. I can't remember who he took a shot at. And this is where I find out that the battle engine being incorporeal cannot make free strikes. So I am now trying to make it to where my Master Tormentor can make it all the way around. Unfortunately, I can't make it through the little gap. But he does make it to the little hole right there, and I'm able to get the arc node that's hiding behind the building and the one guy, and so I'm just rolling for the fences here. I'm able to do the attacks, and I'm also in the back arc of the arc node, so he won't have a free strike on me for when I sprint away. So now I get around behind this guy, and I kind of hopefully lock down those three guys. Because last thing I want is those guys to be able to move out on me. So I've gotten a really good start. I was hoping I got a really good start. Now those Bloodrunners are going to activate. I'm hoping I can get in to engage the arc node. But unfortunately, I don't. So I just move things up. They move up, they don't do anything, and then they do their reposition 3 move. So now I'm measuring off the Sentry, seeing what he can do. But first I'm going to go for the other Bloodrunners, and they're going to charge the weapon crew and the what are those guys? The Revenant crew. What are those guys? The dead guys. That's all Cryx. Cryx is all dead. So, yeah. So they advance. They charge up. They do what they can. It'd be nice if they had 2 attacks, but you know that might make them too overpowering. So, I make short work of all the people they're engaged with. Of course, the cannon crew ends up. Just taking one of the back guys, leaving the weapon there. Would have been nice if I could have killed off, the entire weapon, but I don't. Now this is where I advance all the way up, and with my other Master Tormentor, and I'm not 100% sure, so Iron Lich is kind enough to allow me to pull it back some. And then the Brute activates, and the Brute runs to be within 3 inches of the Master Tormentor, because with that pistol wraith up on the top, I'm worried that he's going to be able to come up and just snipe out and start scoring in that top red zone. If you see that what I'm measuring, I keep measuring from my caster to a straight line up to see if I can actually get him to the battle engine. So I think I'm going to go ahead and commit to this, and we measure the lines out, making sure that neither the house nor the beast is in the way. I had to back it up a little bit, and all lines are good. We agree. I go ahead and pop feet. It's kind of a waste to pop my feet at this point in time, I think, but I thought it would be a good opportunity to try to capture as much as possible. But unfortunately, I read his feet after I said I popped it, and it's just for his line of sight. It's not his control area, but it is in his line of sight. So I only captured a few guys, not as many as I was hoping for, and after spending, then that's where we're checking to see who's all in the melee. And I was able to take it out with only spending, let's say I have 3. I had 1 before that, so my initial attacks plus 1 was able to take out the battle engine. Yes, I was rolling a lot of 5s and 6s, and then when you saw me cast there, you actually saw me cast Ornery, because my hope is that I hope it doesn't happen, but my plan is if I get attacked, that I don't, I can swing back and do some damage to something. So now the beast handlers move up, they condition, and then to make things happen, the Gladiator goes, he advances up his 4, puts up Rush on the Sentry, and the Sentry is now going to be my list stand in the way of my caster, so my caster can hopefully survive this next turn. Now with Ghostly on Nightmare could actually move through the obstruction and come base to base with my caster, and there'd be little I could do. So the plan is to put the base to where he can't move around my model.
Cryx turn 3. What in the world just happened? I did not expect my opponent to bring up Morghoul and kill my Wraith Engine. So I see how fragile things are now, even though I kind of already knew. And what's even more surprising is the fact that my opponent was able to keep Morghoul somewhat safe. So it's going to take a lot of effort to really unpack this nut. But, you gotta try. So after I upkeep Crippling Grasp, shake Blind from Nightmare, allocate Focus to Nightmare, or allocate and then shake, Apparition on the Raiders, and then regrow the Revenant crew, which I liked, thought that was pretty cool. Time to get down to business. So now I just gotta figure out how I can make this work. Can't exactly walk Nightmare around that Sentry and get to melee range of Morghoul. I know Sentry's got probably several special rules that prevent me from teleporting it, or throwing it, or pushing it. So at this point, I pretty much have to go through it. But before I do that, I decided to go with something a little less stress, go to the red zone, or the far side of the board, and try and deal with the Bloodrunners in that red zone. So just because I can, I bring up Rengrave to take care of a Bloodrunner. This will be the first guy that Rengrave has killed, or my Rengrave has killed, in 7 years. So I had my pirates since Mark 1, and this is the first time I actually played them. So I think I had a list years ago that I was going to try, but didn't exactly pan out. So then I activate the Revenant crew, have them move up, make sure I take advantage of the veteran leadership of Rengrave, and I was quite surprised that the Revenant crew actually being able to get work done. So because they've been regrowing, I still have a full unit and they're just advancing. So I'm trying to think. One thing I accidentally did on the far side was I bottled in my cannon crew, so they can't really move and go anywhere. So they kind of had to sit still and just take a pot shot at the Cyclops that's my opponent has put on the board. And amazingly, they missed. And then just run up my Pistol Wraith, remembering not to shoot with him. He's just going to sit there and look threatening. And I come back to the blue zone, which is where I kind of had my intention the whole time. Determined that I'll go ahead and lose or not the Deathripper, but the Defiler, because I need the space. So get rid of him. And then I realize I only catch like a few miles with the Deneghra's feet, but I figure if I can take care of that Sentry using Pirates, let that sink in, said Pirates to get rid of a Sentry, I might have a chance. So Deneghra pops feet, casts Parasite onto Sentry. I get my little position for Nightmare kind of settled out because I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to kill Sentry with Nightmare. And then I just book it and send in the Revenant crew first, are those who had line of sight and didn't have impeded direction. Then run everyone else, make sure I keep everyone in command range. A small little 7-inch bubble. And then I swing for the fences. Under Deneghra's feet and Parasite, Sentries dropped from armor 21 down to 16, I believe. And I missed the first charge attack, so very quickly I'm like, things can go south. This could be my last turn. But the last two Revenant kind of make up for the lack of damage that the first one did. And I'm still eyeing Morghoul. I know I have him on my feet. I know Nightmare's right there, and Morghoul is his prey, so Nightmare would be at 10 and would actually be able to do damage to Morghoul. But I'm looking at ways to get rid of the Sentry still. So I go ahead and activate the Ghost Raiders, and they charge a Sentry. Luckily, the Ghost Raiders were able to get behind the Sentry. You get 2 Ghost Raiders there. Everyone else kind of had to fan out and attack other stuff. But that's okay. They were kind of just taking targets of choice, spread out, make sure you can't get removed from the zone quite easily, and stay in command range. So then Ghost Raiders, they go ahead and do, I kill one Bloodrunner who saw crippling grasp. So I got the Ghost Raiders up to 7-man unit, and then I managed to get 2 Ghost Raiders on a Sentry, both hit, and leave the Sentry on 2. And I'm really squeamish right now, so I decided to, since Bloodrunners have crippling grasp on them, -2 defense and arm, move the Pistol Wraith to kill one, get a Soul to take the shot at the back of the Sentry, and then using the Soul I just got from a Bloodrunner to boost damage and finally kill the Sentry. So I'm having a ball. I'm like, alright, I'll move up Nightmare. He's able to move around and get to the 1-inch mark. You gotta be careful not to get to the 1/2 inch, because I don't want Morghoul to hit me with his fan again and make me blind. That would really spoil my day. So, keeping that in mind, go ahead and stay at the 1-inch range. And I'm effective mat 10, POW 19, so it's like, when I use a claw, it's like dice +5, something ridiculous. Because Morghoul's also under Deneghra's feet, so he's down to armor 14. So, I mean, each time Nightmare touches Morghoul, he just, Bear Blast him and does a ton of damage. And I realize Morghoul has several transfers on him. I tell you it's worth it because he's going to be transferring a lot of damage into his beasts.
Turn 3, say what? Alright. Yeah, with him killing the Sentry, that allowed me to have enough Fury to actually be able to transfer all the attacks off. So now I'm going to Apparition his Happy Butt backwards, and then do all the other happy apparitions that I need to do. And I think first things first. So I pull back my Fury. Make some measurements here to see where I can place going on the easy side. So measuring that out, moving him up to where he's going to thresher on all 4 of them. I think I need like 5s to hit because I'm a high mat. They're not super high defense, but they're, you know, I think they're 13s or something like that. But my earlier bonuses against the battle engine have cost me later in the game. So I'm now trying to see what I can do to help fix things. So I start off with the I move next to the last Bloodrunner. He goes in to try to kill off the Pistol Wraith, but unfortunately dice do not go my way again. So the Pistol Wraith still stands. The one Cannoneer activates, shoots into that group that killed off the Sentry, and clears a hole. So I'm hoping that you know, that helps. Another thing is Iron Lich popped Denny's feet, so a lot of stuff that I have is going to be not moving as fast as it possibly should be. I now activate my caster. I back him up. I put Ghost Walk and Rush up on the Gladiator because, well, the Gladiator's going to, you know, go out and conquer his nightmare, as it were. So Beast Handlers activate. They do what they got to do. This is where I start doing some stuff, and then I once again reread my card. I have to be in base to base. I had enough movement, and Iron Lich once again was more than gracious enough to allow me to advance the guy the final inches to medicate, to heal the Brute. I enraged the Gladiator, so 1 was put on him for charging, and I boosted my initial swing, and hitting it like POW 18, 17, something like that, something high. I was able to just start doing some damage to Nightmare, and yeah, pretty much just take him out. So now in the top zone I have a Bloodrunner and a Brute in the zone. I then, on the bottom zone, I have my Gladiator and a single Bloodrunner contesting, and he has a lot of infantry. So I advance up my second Cannoneer. I take a shot at the guy in front, do blast damage, and then I move the Brute back to operate as a shield guard for Morghoul.
Cryx turn 4. So I regrow my Revenant crew. Super excited about that. So there's actually little benefits. It's paying off quite nicely for them, although I wouldn't rely on them to go to convention quite yet. Then I also do my apparition moves for the Ghost Raiders. So, because of my feat, Morghoul wasn't able to get too far away. However, I have new problems. Being that now that I'm done with Bloodrunners, all I have left is armor to get through. So I'm looking at a Guardian, or a Gladiator in my grill with a bunch of POW 12s. 2 Cannoneers, well within range of my mass infantry, who will be able to wipe them out in droves. So I decided to red zone just because that seemed to be the easier to think zone for the time being. Advance Rengrave and kill the Bloodrunner solo, giving me control of the zone. Then running the Revenant crew into the zone, make sure that everyone's within range. I did the order press forward, so one guy charged, everyone else ran. The guy that charged missed horrifically. And then I ran to Deathripper because now everyone was out of the way. Had to move them precisely as I could, trying to get into Morghoul's back arc. Because at this point, I'm going to try and soften up Morghoul. I need to get Crippling Grasp from Deneghra onto Morghoul. That way, my pirates have a chance at hitting him. Probably Crippling Grasp, and then both Ghost Raid or both Pistol Race, and then the Ghost Raiders and everyone else. So Deneghra cast Crippling Grasp and it hit successfully. Then for remaining focus, Deneghra got a soul on the previous turn. Go ahead and venom him twice. It's well within the 8, measured out earlier. So Deneghra cast venom, hits the first one, does enough damage to make him transfer. So now Morghoul's at no transfers, and then I cast venom a second time, hit, and do a lot of damage and end up killing him.
Alright, my afterthoughts. It'll be interesting to see how the errata changes a lot of how the game is played. For Skorne anyways. So I'm looking forward to that. In this game, I actually don't think that it was too bad. Would have been nice if I had brought maybe like an extoller to give me magical weapons, so I could have dealt with some of the incorporeal without having to use my caster, or waiting for him to attack me first. But overall, it was good. I thought it was a good game. I thought that there was some good back and forth. It just happened that he had quite a bit more ranged than I could deal with. Mostly magical ranged. So yeah, it was a good game. I enjoyed playing it. Hope you enjoyed watching it. I felt good about it. I don't think there'd be much I'd change. And let's hope that the errata, is really good. Thanks a lot, and thanks for watching.